In this video, we're going to look at the basics of trig integration. So we are just learning about antiderivatives, and so we want to integrate things like the cosine and the sine. All right, so I want to remind you of our derivative wheel. So our derivative wheel was sine, cosine, negative cosine. And when I go clockwise around the wheel, I get derivatives. Well, it turns out that if you go around the wheel counterclockwise, you get integrals. So if I go backwards, I'm going to get integrals. This wheel is very handy. So that means that the integral of cosine is positive sine. And this is saying that the integral of sine is negative cosine. And of course, we always put the plus c on the end. Okay. If there are coefficients, we go with it. If I was given negative sine or negative cosine to take the integral of, again, the integral of negative sine is positive cosine, and the integral of negative cosine is negative sine. So we're going to use this wheel to do a couple of quick problems. All right, so we're going to look at this integral, which is the integral of 1 minus sine x dx. We know that the integral of 1 is x. Okay, and the integral of minus sine x, well, let's look at our wheel. If I go backwards, the integral of minus sine x is cosine x, positive cosine x, plus c. Remember, when you find an integral or an antiderivative, you don't write this symbol anymore, and you don't write the dx anymore. So this symbol and dx are only there before you take the antiderivative. All right, let's do another one. What if I had 3 cosine x minus, plus 2 sine x? So the integral of 3 cosine x plus 2 sine x dx. Okay, so I'm going to integrate. The 3 comes along, I drop the symbol. Okay, cosine, let's look at our wheel. The integral of cosine, sine. The integral of sine, negative cosine. All right, so that means I need to change this symbol to a minus 2 cosine plus c. All right, some important things that you should know also is that, remember, we know that the derivative of the tangent is the secant squared. That means that if they sneak in the integral of secant squared, we might freak out. Right? If I saw this in my homework, I might freak out. But this is just the fact that the derivative of the tangent is the secant squared. So to go backwards, the integral of secant squared is just the tangent. Okay? There's not a special wheel for that fact. You just have to know that fact. Technically, you could flip all the cosecant and cotangent facts as well. But as we saw, we mainly focus on sine, cosine, tangent. So this is what we'll have. For those who are curious about what's the integral of tangent, we actually don't tackle that until Calc 2. Okay, the integral of tangent is a little bit of a mess, so we're not going to touch that till Calc 2. Maybe a sneak peek at the end of Calc 1. All right, I hope this helps you with trig integrals. Don't forget the wheel.